Hey everyone, welcome to Home Matters, the podcast where we help you make the most informed decisions for your home renovation and improvement projects. Whether you're swapping out windows, tackling a kitchen makeover, or getting a new roof, we've got the tips, the tricks, and the insights that you need. So let's get into today's topic. Hey there, homeowners, and welcome back to another episode of Home Matters, the show where we make homes, matter. Yes, I'm your host, Alex, and today we're talking about a topic we all struggle with: when to DIY or do it yourself, and when to hire a pro. And we'll distinguish in this episode the difference between a handyman and a pro. That's right, we'll help you decide when to unleash your inner craftsman and when to let the experts take the wheel. Grab a notebook because this is going to be one you want to jot down. Let's kick things off with a little action. We'll talk about three categories: do-it-yourself projects, DIY projects, handyman projects, and then those that need specific pro from any specific trade. So to me, in my experience, and I've been in the construction space for nearly 20 years, painting a room, assembling furniture, and basic landscaping, those are three of the easiest tasks that are sometimes labor intensive, but are the projects that you sometimes want to do it yourself, right? Because painting, now I will say this, sometimes there is a need for a painting pro, but I find it with my children too, that when we're painting a room, we want to switch things up. It's a fun project to do. Now, of course, we're all short on time, and sometimes it makes more sense to just hire a handyman or a painting pro. But you can, for each room, you can spend up to $500 depending on the size of the room, depending on the quality of the paint, the complexity of the paint. Is it going to be textured? Do you need, 2, 3, 4 coats? Do you need a primer? There are a lot of variables, right? But on average, you can plan to spend about $500 per room. And the outside of the home is very different. The outside of the home, if you live in a single family home versus an apartment building where you don't pay for painting the outside because it's included in your monthly dues. But if you're in a single family home, painting the outside of the home, I typically recommend that you hire a pro. But when you're painting the interior of a home, I would say, look, you're still going to have to move the furniture or pay for them to move the furniture. Right? And it can be a fun project. The hardest part of painting, no doubt, are the high areas by the ceiling and, where you have to do all the edging with the tape. But it can be a fun project with your kids or with your spouse. And, you get that sense of accomplishment because, look, the paint that you see on the walls takes up 1/3 of the room. So 1/3 of what's in your home is, in fact, the paint, right? Whereas like doing a flooring project is a lot harder. You're probably going to hire a pro to do that, but not a handyman. Now, assembling furniture is another DIY project. If you go down to IKEA or Walmart and you buy a piece of furniture, you can bring it home. You can assemble it. These days, when you buy furniture, whether it's on a site like Wayfair or Houzz or Amazon, you get the furniture, it's not assembled, so you have to assemble it. Assembling other things too, like buying a grill. If you buy a grill that is unassembled, it's going to cost you less, usually about $30, $40 less. You can assemble it when you get home, right? So assembling furniture to me is another great DIY project that you can get that sense of accomplishment and do it the way you want to do it. All right. And then basic landscaping. Now, this is one that some people who may not like to be outdoors may not enjoy this, but I really enjoy being outside. I really enjoy weeding. I really enjoy working in the garden and seeing the flowers, the plants, and even the herbs. If you so desire to, create a little garden with herbs is so great. Like one of the easiest ones to do is basil. You can plant your basils, and so it's like from farm to table, so to speak, right? And so basic landscaping includes more than just the grass and the trees. You can do your garden as well. And these are the tasks where, with a bit of elbow grease and some YouTube tutorials, and not all are great, but you can find some on YouTube, you're going to be able to achieve great results and just no need to break your bank here. And so I would recommend that. Now, handyman projects to me, look, installing a fan, installing a new faucet, some wall repairs. If you have some, gouges or holes in the walls, you're probably not going to tackle that yourself unless you have that experience, and then fixing minor plumbing and electrical issues, a clogged toilet, a runny toilet, a leaky water supply line under your sink in the kitchen. Maybe a fan is no longer working or the light is flickering. These are small issues that are plumbing electrical that a handyman can fix for you. And typically you're going to find different prices for handyman. Like if you go to an app like taskrabbit.com or Thumbtack, porch.com, all these third-party apps that take a cut, they're going to charge you a little bit more, but they're going to be able to find all those handyman in one place. And then you have franchises like Handyman Connection and others out there where they have an army of handymen who have experience in different areas. Now, not all handymen are a Swiss Army knife of home improvement projects. So each handyman that you work with is going to have a specialty, right? Whether it's carpentry, plumbing, electrical, whatnot. So you want to find out for your specific project, when you hire a handyman, which area does that handyman have the most experience in, right? So I've worked with handymen that are amazing painters and others that would never want to touch a paintbrush. And typically, to bring a handyman down to your home, you're going to be paying anywhere between, on the low end, $50 an hour, or a basic charge of $125 to $150 for just showing up to your house. And it makes sense. They have their tools, they have their gas, their van, their time. And so they're going to come down to your house, and they'll charge anywhere between $50 to up to $150 per hour for projects. Now, if you hired a handyman for a long-term project, you could probably find one that is going to do projects where they're in your home for 6 to 8 hours, and they'll charge you a flat rate between $300 to $500 per day, $300 to $500 per day. Now, it sounds like a lot of money, except for if you get a really good handyman in your house to do you have a punch list of different projects that you want to do. Like, let's say you're preparing to sell your home. You may have 20, 30 items on that list. If you hire a handyman who can do all those projects, and let's say they're in your home for 2-3 days, maybe it's going to cost you between, $1,200 to $1,500. They can take care of all those projects and save you all the time and headaches because you don't have all those tools. So in some cases, it does make sense, right? But in other cases, you will want to hire a contractor, right? But the handyman, in my experience, they come with a broad skill set and they can tackle the most minor home repairs and they don't mind. Whereas contractors just want to do a complete overhaul or new installation, right? So if you're not sure where to find a good handyman, like I said, TaskRabbit or Handyman Connection is another one. All right. And then local contractor. We also have connections on localcontractor.co that you can connect with as well. Handyman is not our specialty at localcontractor.co, but we do have some listed there. And then the last part here is we talked about DIY projects that you can do yourself. We talked about handyman projects, and then trade specific projects, major electrical work, major plumbing overhauls. Absolutely, you need contractors. HVAC, air conditioning and heating installation, you definitely need an HVAC specialist. I mean, those industry have specific licenses and in some cases permits, or they need to be inspected. Even installing a fence, you want a fence company, somebody who does fences day in, day out. If you have gutters, you want someone who does gutters day in, day out. Roofing, that's 100%. You want a roofing company with a roofing state license. And a lot of these trade specific projects or contractors that you're going to work with, you want to make sure that they have their license up to date, that they don't have any complaints, any issues outstanding. What I like to see is when these contractors that are trade specific, I'd like to see that they belong to their industry association. It tells me that they're on the cutting edge and they're upholding the standards and guidelines set forth by these nonprofit organizations. And I want to know how many employees they have. I'm, of course, going to look at their reviews. But yeah, so look, major electrical, major plumbing, HVAC, roofing, siding for sure. Flooring, well, it depends. If you're putting in carpet, you're probably going to hire a flooring company. Tile, marble, hardwood floor. If you're just doing luxury vinyl tile, if you're just doing laminate flooring, you can make those do-it-yourselfs because you don't really have a lot of tools that you need. You can rent a lot of tools too. So remember, if you're that do-it-yourself person who really wants to go through the process and get that satisfaction, remember, you can rent tools. United Rentals, Home Depot, Lowe's, a lot of these stores will rent tools to you. You don't have to go spend thousands of dollars on new tools, right? So we talked windows. Windows is one. Of course, you're going to hire someone to do your windows. If you live on the water and you're doing a seawall or a backyard porch, you're going to hire a trade specific general contractor, maybe, or or someone that has the license to work in that specific trade. If you're doing a pool, obviously, kitchen and bath remodeling, you can actually get away with getting a handyman, because really, when you're doing a kitchen or a bath remodel, you need so many different trades, from electrical to plumbing. We've talked about it in this episode, in previous episodes, about the fact that when you do kitchen and bath remodels, the list of items and the list of trades that work in that area are vast, right? So one of the people that work in a kitchen or a bathroom may be a handyman, right? But probably more than likely, the person who puts in the cabinets, the flooring, the walls, or the tub, or in the kitchen, the one who installs the appliances, these are going to be, specifically licensed trades. But you can still get the handyman involved to reduce your costs. And then you also have, what else? A seawall. If you live in the water and you're building a seawall, a fence we talked about, roof we talked about, windows. Let's see. I think that's about it. You can get away with doing doors in your house, do it yourself. Obviously, if it's an outer door or garage door, then you're probably hiring a door company to come in. Typically, window companies work or offer actual door service as well, right? So those are the different scenarios where you can make a list as a homeowner, whether you're a new homeowner or been a homeowner long enough. You should separate it into 3 categories: DIY projects, handyman projects, and trade specific projects. And this way you'll know at a moment's notice when you have an issue, is this something I'm going to tackle? Do I have the time to do it? Do I have the tools? Or am I going to call the handyman? Is the handyman qualified? If not, here's my list of contractors. And that's all I've got for today's episode. So I hope you found it useful for the next time that you are torn between doing it yourself and picking up the phone to call a pro. And for more info and breakdown of today's topics, check out our blog post for this episode. Also, look up localcontractor.co. We list other projects there, as I mentioned, but we also recommend apps like TaskRabbit. And remember, guys, sometimes doing it yourself is rewarding, but knowing when to call in the cavalry that can save you time, save you money, and a whole lot of headaches is the best thing to do. Till next time, keep making your home matter. Thanks for tuning in to the Home Matters podcast. Remember, a great home starts with making smart choices. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on a new episode. For more resources or to get in touch with a trusted local contractor, check out localcontractor.co. Until next time, take care and happy renovating.